Yo, we recording? We on? We on. Welcome to another episode of the Thru podcast. It's 171. I'm your host, Miggy. Right here, we got the homie Ronsta, got the homie Ricky, got Chewbox. We got our guest here that we'll introduce later on. First and foremost, I want to shout out all the partnerships. Shout out to definitelying.com. As you can see, I'm rocking one of their hoodies, double ace hoodies. Real fly, real flashy, you know what I mean? Something light at the same time, though. Make sure you go on to definitelying.com, check out all the merchandise available, candles, hats, all kinds of good stuff. Also, shout out to MontereyBayCreations.com. You dream they create it. Is that the website? Is that
MontereyBayCreations.com.
Yeah.
Tap
in with all that. Also, Fit and Fresh Meals.
Fit and Fresh .831 on Instagram. Great fresh meals. You trying to lose some weight? That's the way to go, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tap into that because my job just got a mini fridge, so you know what I mean.
I think they might. Where's it in Prunedale?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
Salinas, they have a location.
But they have one in Watsonville, don't they? Not
they have one in Watsonville, King City. I think Salinas. And then, of course, they're based here in Monterey.
For sure. I'll tap into you one of those.
Where in Monterey do they work at?
It's Seaside. They prepare the meals. They have a fridge on what's the street? Palm Street in Seaside.
Yeah.
Right behind Seaside Market. The old Seaside Market.
Okay.
How was I supposed to know the street?
Man, come on, man. Because it's you, dog.
It's you. You were born and raised in the bottles.
Come on, man. When people talk about palms, automatically, you know what I mean?
Palm trees.
Palm trees. You know what I mean? Who else is fly and smooth as a palm tree like that?
Yeah, local. What does that even mean?
That means you got
Anyways.
Because you chill. Let's see. Who else? Fish House in Watsonville. Make sure you check them out if you're ever out there in the area. Who else?
Conglomerate by the Sea.
Before that.
Conglomerate by the Sea. Make sure you tap in with that. They got cool merchandise on there. You get our latest episodes there on the link. I think we all set on all the partnerships, man. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all the day ones listeners. Shout out to the new day listeners. Shout out to the midday listeners. All types of listeners.
Shout out to the subscribers.
Shout out to all the subscribers.
To the subscribers. Yes.
Yeah, we appreciate.
Don't forget to subscribe. Please add it to the thing.
Yeah. Hit that notification bell wherever you see it right there, huh? It's gonna be right here, right above. It's gonna be right there where Ricky is saying, because we got dope editors on deck. Also, shout out to the Super Bowl.
Shout out to the Super Bowl.
Shout out Tom Brady, bro. Shout out Tom Brady. Anyways,
you got the Raiders?
We're not there. We're not there yet.
We're not there. We'll get there, man. But listen, man, we're here with a special guest who does music. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and let him know who the people is, man. What's up? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Thank you for having me. Man, this is kind of weird. I think I'm.
Oh no, you good? Yeah. However you feel comfortable,
However you
bro.
feel comfortable,
that will be more comfortable, but. I'm ruining everything, guys.
No, you good, man. You see us. I'm really peeping the fit, though, man. The green with the green, man. These shoes are crazy. I didn't even really get the full look on them. There's Jurassic Park on it?
Yep.
That's hard.
Okay, that's
yeah.
dope.
Jurassic Pumps.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jurassic Pumps. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I ain't even seen those.
Yeah, those are fucking fire.
Yeah.
Damn, I thought I had cool
I feel
shoes,
like I've
man.
been wanting them since I was 15, and I can finally afford.
Were they out since you were 15?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
They're just like a flashback with Reebok pumps.
Yeah.
And they were like did some. They're doing like specific themes nowadays.
Yeah.
That's how I bought a Nat Geos too. But
Okay.
I got my Jurassic pumps and Nat Geo. I'm a science animal guy. So
Oh, okay.
okay, so I'm El Kallpa.
Kallpa.
Kallpa local music. I do a little bit of videography, a little bit of photography, a little bit of everything. Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm always trying to diversify, not only talk to the people that I hang out with, but I try to learn other people's stories and groups and shit. And I went through your Insta and I saw, man, maybe I want to talk to this guy.
Oh man, we appreciate you the fact that you found us and you gave us the opportunity.
Reached
you wanted,
out, man.
reached out.
Appreciate it.
And that's all it really takes to really be on here, is just to reach out and if it's cool, it's cool. It's all smooth. Yeah.
Nice, thank you, appreciate it.
So what started out for you first? Was it the music first, the photography or videography?
Man, it's a lot of art in my family. My dad is a painter, and he always did photography too. But I think I got a little more serious about art is when I started writing in school, like poetry and stuff like that. Not necessarily love poetry, but shit that I was feeling. Like I remember one of the first poems that I wrote. It was about, because in Peru, I born and raised in Peru.
Peruvian, yeah.
We wore uniforms in high school, and the girls had to wear skirts. So I remember one of the first poems, I called it Legs. I was like 13. It's because every time I turn around,
See legs.
and I remember feeling a little self-conscious, like, what the fuck am I writing this? Because that's not what they teach you, right? You need to write the love poems and stuff like that. So I
Well,
did
that's what you love, man. You're a leg guy. You know what I mean? I'm a leg guy.
all the way.
See, I'm a gentleman. Go up the stairs first.
I appreciate a good pair of legs,
So, but I was
not
like,
just chicken either. You know?
yeah, right. I was like 13, and I remember like one of my friends, one of the girls, she was like, "Man, this is a little, I don't know, not objectifying, but she thought also some of my punchlines were funny. So she was like, just show it to the people that you wrote it about." And I was a little self-conscious, but
The whole school.
not the whole school, just my classroom,
Yeah.
which was only 30 people. It wasn't that many. And so I got good feedback and some bad feedback, but I don't know. I kind of like that expressing something and sharing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what it started for me. And then I had in school, I had a teacher who was like, "Man, you gotta, when you're feeling something, just write it.
Yeah.
And then from that, it went a little bit into music. I was like, I want to learn how to play guitar now so I can tell stories, with music and a little bit of poetry. But I think everything started about writing for me.
Do you remember some lines from the leg poetry?
The
It
leg
was like
pose.
everything.
The leg poem.
Legs. You
It
can
was
be honest.
all
No
en español,
censorship.
todo en español. It was like,
Dilo en español.
Español.
Our
O sea,
editor will translate
cada
it.
vez que volteo, todo lo que veo son piernas.
Don't worry, man. Our editor's gonna put the subtitles right there. Don't even trip.
Me too at KFC, bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
That
But-
could be a good video. You have a guy working at KFC and it's like,
Okay, so like writing poetry, like how old were you like at this time? Was this like middle school type of like age?
That's another thing that I have no fucking idea about the thing in the United States. I don't know what's the elementary, middle, junior high, or high school. I don't understand it. In Peru, you have 2 levels, and it's primary
Right.
and then secondary.
What does that mean?
So grades 1 through 6 are primary,
Oh,
and then you go into secondary, and they're grades 1 through 5th. So we do 11 grades instead of 12. So I was about 13, I guess. It was like first or second of secondary.
we would call it middle school,
Okay, yeah.
right?
So yeah,
'Cause you're
like
15 when you go to high school.
13, 14,
around there,
yeah.
We'll call it
13,
middle
14.
school.
So right before, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of and then I had that very influential teacher that he told me about a contest to write a short story, like a 30-page, like un cuento, like a little story, 30 page, and that was no grades, no nothing.
Is there different pages?
Does it have to be from the back?
A full page. No, I remember doing some editing even then. Like, I don't know if I can write this much when I'm this young. I've never done anything like that. But I submitted and everything, and I shared with a few friends, and they were like, "Man, this is cool." Like, so I had they asked, "Oh, maybe this little story could evolve into a book or something," but I'm too lazy to write like a lot. So that's why I write songs and poems, or just thoughts. Sometimes I call it incoherences. Like I just start writing, and then
like just little muses, like just inspiration at the moment,
or something that you're feeling, and then something rhymes, and you're like, okay. Sometimes I don't even know where the fuck I'm going with. It's just like just writing.
just a little journey.
But I don't have the diligence to do. Okay, I'm gonna write 100 pages.
Yeah, because then you gotta get a break and then continue it. Try to re-grab
Surface,
that, re-grab that feeling, the inspiration that you had when you first started. Now you're trying to keep it going, and sometimes it's hard to keep that same level of motivation. Going.
It's hard, even poems. I gotta give you credit because I tried like writing a book, like a novel, like years ago. I was working on a novel myself, and after like 3 chapters, I was like, I'm done. I can't like I got to give credit to people that like write books because that takes like dedication.
It's crazy, man. For me, it's the time it takes. Even like I'm lazy for reading too, so I'm like I grab a book. I was like, man, this story is good, but 3 pages, 4 pages, and I'm like, okay, I'm like
I like
Yeah.
audiobooks.
Yeah.
Right.
To be honest, that's the only way I
Or
can
the
do
movie.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 minutes
You never
into
got
it.
lost in the book where you're like you just suddenly you just kept going and you kind of just lost thought of everything else that's going on and all you're paying attention to is the story.
Definitely when I was younger. Like when I was in that, I remember a guy in pre-university in Peru. I was doing a course to get into college, and he used to call me the poet because I was always like reading something. But I remember it was because I commuted a lot and used a lot of public transportation, which is not public. It's just whatever transportation. I remember reading a lot because the distances were so long. So I was like, okay, but I was pushing it, I was
Yeah.
pushing myself. I want to be a reader, but it's not natural. for
Yeah,
sure.
not natural. Yeah, more to the movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel that. So the guitar was the first instrument you decided to learn?
I tried.
Or-
I still like a little shaky on
Okay.
guitar, but
It's
ever
tough,
since
man. It's tough. Like I see the chords that they be doing with their fingers. I'm like, what the fuck? Like they're playing Twister on their fingers.
And that
like,
hurts. I tried learning how to play guitar for a while too. Like the dexterity you need on your fingers for that is
you get a little calluses. Yeah, and
get
then,
carpal tunnel.
yeah, and I've been
Arthritis.
in a few bands, so I know how a good guitar should sound.
Yeah.
And I don't make it sound like that, so I'm like, I'm not
I never even understood the little tune things. I feel like it didn't really make much of a difference. I remember just spinning all those just on one side
to make them look
to
uniform.
make them look good. They're all just gonna line up. That's how I'm doing it.
Yeah, but ever since I went to a concert and I saw the power of the drums, I was like, man, I want to drum.
Okay. Did you
On a
start?
drum.
You started doing drums?
Well, I didn't have the means. Like I didn't have money to buy a fucking drum set when I was in Peru. I had my guitar. I started writing songs and then like I turned 17 and I think I played one show with some friends. Whatever, I don't know how it sounded, but I played drums from like friend of a friend. Lend them like the kick, one snare, one fucking
Yeah.
cymbal, something like super like roots. But then I left Peru when I was 17, and I never like had a band or anything. Yeah, we migrated to Miami.
Okay. But when playing the drums, you had rhythm already though. Like you kind of knew a rhythm, or was it just
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very self-taught.
kind of like a pattern? Yeah.
My own style type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like out here in the U.S., like probably like L.A. or New York, you'll see like people at streets or bus stations or subways where they're just sitting on a bucket and they have another bucket and they're just going crazy. And the way that all you really need is just the rhythm. You don't need like the fancy drum sets or actual drum set. The way you could just do it on a bucket, like it's crazy. Like
The timing that they have. Yeah, no, I've seen. There's some
and it
shows.
sounds good too in the way like you can make anything sound good. Like
Yeah.
it's just manipulating the pattern and the sounds. Like is pretty interesting.
I seen one of those guys in Boston, and it was crazy, man. They had these metal plates on the ground too that he lift a little bit just to make it sound like a hi-hat and shit.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
So when you moved from Peru to 17, Boston was the first place you
No.
landed? Oh,
Came to Miami.
Miami? Okay. Is there any certain reason why you
Family. We have family there.
You got family in Miami?
Yeah,
Nice.
my parents have been talking about, let's chase the American dream for a while. And finally my dad got the visa and we got the visa and we was like, okay, let's try it. It was
Chase it.
Yeah.
Is it because I know like with some Latinos like there's certain like regions that they like migrate to, like Puerto Ricans are like heavy in New York, Cubans in Miami. Is it also a thing for Peruvians to be in Miami, or was that just
There is a lot of Peruvians in Miami for sure, but for us was my aunt offering, okay, you guys can stay in my place.
yeah?
So my dad came first. We had tried to migrate out of Peru to Aruba because we had an uncle that had a business there, and my dad went to test it, and if he had done better, we would have gone there. But it didn't work. He was 8 months out of the country, and then he came back, and he was just like, it kind of opened his eyes to, maybe I don't have to stay in Peru. We can try other things because the economy wasn't doing so great.
Yeah. Oh, what did he do out there in Miami?
He's an artist. He's a painter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was working other jobs.
okay.
But he thought that if he came to the States, he was gonna have more opportunity with his art. which it didn't translate
It didn't
that
turn
well.
out that way.
But it gave me and my siblings a great opportunity, definitely. Because in Peru, I guess it's a little bit like here. When you're a certain class, they stay in that class, man. And I wasn't born in the high class in Peru, so it was gonna be hard to climb, But I don't know. We came here as a family to try to do better, and I guess we're doing good things.
That's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You hear? I mean, you got like a good page on you. I recently just saw your page, so
Thank you.
It looks like you're doing good. Doing good. So when did you get to the recording of it?
I always, since I was in Miami, I remember the first investment on one of the bands that we had was like, I want to capture this. Like, because I want to study it. I want to see how we're sounding. I got it really into the recording part. And I never knew how to do it at that time. We just bought like a 4-track direct. I didn't know anything about softwares or like a clicker or on time. It was just feeling it. And a lot of like live recordings. But I always like that. I feel that it's kind of making, even though it's not physical because it's a sound, but making something that you make, like an artist painting your paint.
Yeah.
Painting a painting. It was like, oh man, we have something recorded, so it's real.
Yeah, it's real. It's physical. You could replay. We don't have to keep performing it.
Yeah. So those were the first demos that I did. It was just with live, a couple of microphones, and capture it directly. The levels were like whatever you were hearing, that's what you were getting.
It was all just you?
No, I was the one that knew the least. I was just there to perform. When I got a little more serious with recording was when I moved here to Monterey in 2012. Different bands. I had another band, and I was like, I want to record this. So a friend started teaching me GarageBand. I just so happened to have an Apple computer, which is it totally changed my world for video and for music.
Right, because it's all
because it's free, bro. It's free right there on your computer.
I was gonna purchase what's that video software through Creative Cloud? Premiere, but I tried it. It was difficult. 2 is like you can't just buy the program anymore. You gotta do like a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
So I use more of like Photoshop. So I just paid for that, and I'm just gonna learn how to do everything I could do here, but with iMovie. So far I do little reels, little videos for people, little vlogs, and
that's cool.
That works just perfectly fine. I wish they had more effects though. I don't know if you could purchase them. I haven't looked into it, but
I don't think in iMovie. The next step up is Final Cut, which is pretty powerful.
Final Cut is free too, I believe.
No, it's cheap. It's like $100.
Yeah,
but it's just a one-time thing, right?
Yeah, and Final Cut is pretty good. It's not as good as Premiere, but it's good enough for like most of the stuff that you need.
Yeah, that's the next step for sure. And I know how to use all of them. And to the day, if it's something super simple, I use iMovie. I'm not gonna go crazy if I don't need any effects or anything. Just run it through iMovie and that's it. So some people look down on iMovie or GarageBand, but dude, I work with what I have, and also I don't need to. If the product is gonna go on social media or something that is not a movie, I don't need to do something too crazy to it, Because the Premiere is hard. I'm still learning
tried
Premiere.
I was like, man, fuck this shit.
It's really complicated, but it's because it's so powerful too. You can do so many crazy things, but the learning curve is hard.
Okay. Have you done any studio time, like with your bands or just by yourself?
No, we did. Other than us recording each other track by track, we did once invested in back with the band that still dormant, I guess, Sensory Tribe. We did rented a studio space in San Luis Obispo, and we went there for like the whole day in the studio, from like 11 a.m. to like 8 p.m.
Nice.
Just like playing the same songs. And we got a demo out of that, and that was an amazing experience.
Was that like the first time you ever did that?
The first time in a real studio, the first and only so far.
How did it feel though? Was it like a different?
It was great because you're not behind the scenes trying to do the levels. You have somebody else doing that. And then when you let other people listen to your music and they give you some, like the mixing engineer and shit like that, if they're doing it, then you're like, okay, so I don't need to think about this. And then you get other people's opinion on how the sound should be instead of you making all the decisions.
All the choices, kind of second guessing yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or thinking that, maybe I'm going too heavy with my style. You want something that is a little more acceptable.
Yeah, what other people think or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, that's why I love collaborations. I do a lot of collaborations because it's like bouncing ideas and getting other people's opinion. Going back to my poem about the legs, you know, I shared it as like, what do you guys think? You know, I like that feedback.
Was it mostly girls that liked it? I think it was mostly girls that liked it. I think so. I think so. Huh?
Were you
There
talking
were a
about
few
my
girls that
legs?
did not like it.
Who are you talking about? Shit. How was your first band? And like that too. Like having a band too is like you gotta meet people. You gotta like have certain like you gotta have the same interests, of course.
Yeah, that takes skill.
But then you gotta stick together. Like, and I feel like that's the tough part. Is the
It's
sticking
very
together.
tough.
Yeah.
Well, the first time when we migrated to Miami, that was when I had my first band. So I had tried to put a band together in Peru, but with no means. They have money, space, or nothing. So played drums once, had a guitar, and played a few songs, but nothing serious. So I'm in Miami, dressed like a fucking hippie, like 100% out of the norm of the Miami scene. Like I was wearing all of these necklaces and like very hippie shoes with sandals. And this kid just spotted me. He's like, "You like Spanish rock?" Like straight, because he saw me speaking
Yeah.
He
Spanish.
didn't even ask.
He's like, "Yeah." He was like, "You like Spanish rock, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." How do you know? He's just like,
What gave it away?
Bro.
You got the look.
What gave it away?
And then he was like, "Do you play an instrument?" And I was like, I was desperate to meet people, bro. So I said, yeah. Can you sing? I said, yeah, I can sing. Yeah, I can do that too. And it just so happens that the music they were making, it was the Spanish rock that I had grown up with all throughout the 90s. It was all this Argentinian influenced Spanish rock, a lot of stuff from Spain and Colombia and some Peruvian stuff too. But they were playing like the pop hits of South America. And I was like, I know those.
Yeah.
Can you name some of your inspirations so that way maybe some people could like check them out if they're interested?
Well, of the bands?
The music that you listen to, like
Soda Stereo. I mean, I've evolved a lot, but these are the first. Soda Stereo is an Argentinian band. From Colombia, Aterciopelados. From Spain, Los Hombres G. And this is what
My uncle loves that shit.
Enanitos Verdes.
Enanitos Verdes from Mexico, El Tri. El Tri de Mexico. But then I evolved to like Molotov, has nothing to do with classic shit. You know, it's like
But
rap
it's
and
still
in your
more, I think it's the same idea, just, not so much censored, just...
It's a little more in your
They
face.
just did their own thing with it, I think is what it was.
I think so. They just broke. I don't know if you guys know about Maná and how the whole thing happened with Maná. Brought an album, Donde Jugarán las Niñas, like Donde Jugarán los Niños, where the boys gonna play, and it was like these kids like playing Kumbaya and all happy. And then Molotov's first album is Donde Jugarán las Niñas, and is a girl putting her panties down, so it's so in your face.
Oh, damn.
And Maná had exploded, right? Maná was super big, so they took that band that was up there and made fun of them, and it's just.
I mean, sometimes you gotta troll, man. But I mean, growing up, the one the song I remember though was called Puto.
Puto, yeah.
Yeah, like fuck. Like when I heard it, imagine being 7 years old, like
There's really a song like this?
like it's crazy,
That's
just
the
the
whole
shit
song,
they talk
Puto.
about. But then they started like doing like actual like rap music with bars and shit like that. But those songs, I can't forget them,
No,
Yeah.
dude, those are. I remember one of the first songs I've heard of Molotov must have been Puto. And in Peru, the music that I grew up with, going to parties, it was very diverse. You get one salsa, you get one rock in English. Not a lot of hip hop or rap influence, but for me that was already diverse. Song in English, you heard some Sublime. You hear like the next song is a salsa song, and there's a cumbia song. It's very diverse. And Puto was the time where everybody started just jumping around and pushing like a little pogo, which years later I learned about pogos because I was really into the underground scene of Peru, just going to like underground cons and punk and ska and just being in the mosh pit. And
See, another one I grew up was "Give Me All the Power" or something like that. It was
Yeah,
like that was the
Give Me
first
the
mixture.
Power,
Give Me the Power, I still play it, man. Sometimes in my sets I play a little bit of Give Me the
putting it
Power.
on,
I love Frijolero. That one.
Frijolero is a
love that
good
song,
hit
bro.
too, man.
Yeah.
They're very like social commentary, and that's the type of
That's what it
the
is.
style of music
It
that I
started
go for.
conversations.
Yeah, make people think a little bit. It's not just about love and this. It's like
That's
some
dope though.
punchy
That's
shit,
dope. I remember. You just brought back so many memories. See my uncle just push each other for no reason. I'm a little kid like, what the fuck? Like, why? Why are you grabbing the chair for? Why are you want to hit him with the chair for?
Why are you breaking the window?
Why are you breaking the window? Like, for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
like a mosh pit. Like,
Yeah.
legit that. Like, just fucking nuts.
Legit.
Still good memories, though. You know, no one really got, like, hurt.
I've never gotten hurt in the mosh pit, but my brother got his nose broken. And I
shit.
was so pissed because I wasn't there, and he's my little brother, you know. But I mean, we were in so many mosh pits in Florida when I was there. A lot of ska and punk concerts on Warped Tour and all of those. I was in the middle of the mud there, like skanking, and that's my
crazy,
shit.
man.
So, what happened when the kid spotted you out? He knew you like Spanish rock. Was that the person that you linked up with to make a band with?
Yeah, so he was the bass player, and it
Okay.
just so happens this is how destiny works. The guy who was hosting, the guitar player, he was Peruvian. So I didn't go to high school here. I was 17. They told me you can't go to high school because you already graduated in Peru. So I was in this limbo where I couldn't go to school because I didn't have papers. I didn't want to always like just work hiding like an immigrant. So I was like, I need to do, something.
Yeah.
And I was like bored. I was ready to go back to Peru. I have a better chance. Like, I'm young. Like, I'll build my future. And then my dad told me, dude, we're gonna need you here. It's not for you, but it's for the family. We're gonna need your manpower.
Yeah.
So
And that's the culture, though.
And
We're
there's
all
nothing
like,
more important than family. Yeah.
So
He gave you that Dom Toretto.
Family.
yeah, but so I decided to stay. But yeah, man, for me it was just going with the music, and like I was saying, I was in this limbo, and this guy too, he wasn't doing much with his life, so I started hanging out with him all fucking day.
That's how it happens, man.
And he was Peruvian, and his mom used to cook some Peruvian food in Miami. Sometimes I was missing that shit. He was so welcoming too, and I think by second month, I told him I used to write some shit in Peru. Why don't you play a couple of chords and I'm gonna write, like, I write a song, and he liked it. And from there on, I was like, we don't need to do covers, man. I can write shit. I have things to say.
I got things to say.
Yeah.
Let me speak.
So what was the name of the first band? What'd you guys call it?
The first band was Pueblo Joven, which
That's
has
a
a
dope
little
name.
bit
I love that. Yeah, that's hard.
of a backstory. In Peru, when there is like back in the 90s, when there was like a parcel of land that was open, some people will invade it and like claim it, like in modern age, and with some fucking sticks and some plastics and shit, they build this very rudimentary housing, and then if the police cannot remove them by force, that's their fucking property.
They couldn't kick them out, right?
If they couldn't kick
Where
them
I'm
out,
from,
yeah.
it happened like that at some point where, like, I guess the government opened some land. Same thing, whatever you had, if you claim it,
Yep.
even if it was someone else's property, if they couldn't remove you,
Yep.
that's your land.
Yeah, and I lived in this place where it was this big land, but this guy didn't have the power to safeguard it. So they came from behind the mountains and they started claiming, and it's a whole village now. But that's what they call it, Pueblo Joven, because it's a young town. It's a town that is starting. So I was like, I'm here in Miami. I'm trying to invade the United States with my ideas.
I'm trying to take over.
Oh,
So
shit.
let's call this thing Pueblo Joven. We're starting the young. It was so hard to translate because if you tell people young town and then what the fuck does that
sound cool,
mean?
right? Young
It sounds better in
town.
Spanish for sure. Yeah.
Pueblo Joven.
I'm like, well, this is Miami.
We're not young.
So is that what you consider the genre, like Spanish rock, the type of
That's
music
what we
that
call
you
it. We
make?
call it rock en español.
Okay.
Rock en español. It's not necessarily that it's from Spain, but it's rock en español. That's kind of the genre that it is. I don't even know how to explain it. It's a little folksy, and of course he has like rock here has from.
It's a mixture.
It's a mixture thing,
It's a
and then
big
you have the
mixture, yeah.
Latin little bit of fusion. Sometimes they do a little Brazilian stuff, a little Argentinian stuff. Now more than ever, now with the cumbias and shit, it's just like
Well,
a
everything
complete-
is fused now. I listen to
complete fusion.
even metal like Avenged Sevenfold, and they have their guitarist Sinister Gaze. He's a beast, and he even plays like salsa, and like sometimes he'll like play like salsa guitar like in a hard ass metal song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like people always doing like cool shit now with music. It's awesome.
That's what I was about to say, like about your music. That like there's so many different sounds that are just mixed in with it. That like, it threw me off a little bit, but it also like it captured me a little bit too because
Thank
like
you.
you kind of blend it all in perfectly.
Thank you.
Like there's
Appreciate
like
it.
certain songs will be like, oh, there's like reggae, but he's like rapping, but then he goes ahead and says some Spanish, and it's like it threw me off, but it all flowed so perfect. So like I mean,
It's a pause.
it's like a what? Yeah, no, it's
It's
like,
like
yeah,
you
a little bit.
pause,
It's
think
like,
about it, like, then you pause again.
and then that little 10 skip back, like,
Yeah.
That's crazy. One of the craziest genres I've heard is they have like metal rock, but for like Christian music.
Oh yeah. No,
Like
they help.
it was like mind blowing to me, like how like you think of like heavy metals like satanic, like like crazy shit like that. And then I'm working with this Christian dude, but he loves music. Like he plays the keys so well and shit like that. And he told me, yeah, they have like Christian
metal.
hard metal rock.
One of the bands is actually hella dope. I listen to them. Demon Hunter.
That's what it is.
Demon Hunter.
But is it Christian band?
It's a Christian metal
I guess
band.
it makes sense. It makes Demon Hunter. Yeah.
It's a Christian metal band, but they're dope. Like their music is good. But it's funny because they're a Christian band, but like they have fans that aren't Christian, like people just because they make good music. Like it doesn't sound like it's just for Christians, That's what makes it good.
See, well, that's what I was mind blown when he told me that and he actually played it. So what the fuck? Why? Like how? You know? And then there was, of course, I worked with nothing with Christians for like 8 months, and it's like.
Can't talk about science or nothing.
I'm not one to keep
Science
quiet.
did it.
I'm not one to keep quiet. I express my opinions. I will question them. One of them didn't like it. The other one will try to answer as best as he can. One will be like, "Well, come to my church and find out." But. Yeah, very interesting 8 months.
It's basically just his house to do the church at the house.
But that one really threw me off. But I did attend. He had an event, and trying to good faith. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go watch them play. He did dope. They sang church songs, and I'm not against church. It's just my beliefs are totally like all over the place. But I don't question it. But that's what really threw me off. And then they have cumbia Christian,
Cumbia, I didn't know that.
Cumbia Christian music, like they have reggae Christian music, like they have a whole bunch
everything, like all the genres you can think of now and subgenres have Christian.
Like it's a trip, like things you wouldn't even think about.
I knew about Christian rock and even some punk, but I didn't hear of metal and cumbia and reggae. No, man. What I do is because I like reggae a lot. My favorite type of music is ska, but I like reggae a lot, and I always look for reggae in weird languages. I found this band from Japan. They're called.
Oh yeah, in Japan, they probably do everything because over there they're so influenced by every single type of culture.
You've seen the Latino lowrider culture, man.
You'll see Japanese cholos. You'll see Japanese cholos.
But the thing is, they really look
Japanese
like
cholos.
Mexican cholos. Like they don't even look Japanese.
They just look like like when you call un Mexicano like chinito. Like
bro, they kind of look like the homie. They look like the homie down the street.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I found this band, and this was back in the day. They were called Doggy Style, and I loved that band because they always like do a shout out to their band, and the guy would be like Doggy Style.
we gotta listen to that. We gotta check it out.
I don't know if it exists on YouTube. Like they dissolved, but they did all kinds of weird things about a lot of reggae, and then. Just following that, I found a band from Sweden that sings reggae. Like I don't know what the fuck they're saying,
but it sounds dope.
It sounds dope.
I've listened to German music that I don't know what they're saying, but it's like you'd be like, they might be saying something hard,
They might be saying something racist, but that should go. That should go. Give it past
you. Laughing at though, but you really don't know.
Your German homie's like, bro, like they talking about you, right?
It don't matter to me. One thing I used to do a lot, there was this music app, and I forgot what it was, and you could create an account, and I forgot it, but I used to search for like Spanish, like rap, and I found so much shit on that music app, but it would like.
They probably they probably brought up Porta a lot because that was huge back in those days.
I don't know what it was, but they would just throw in random it wasn't just. Like the artists you found, it would just be like random music, and I remember just listening to that and just finding like some artists. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's pretty cool.
And then I
man.
lost the fucking. It was on the iPod. I lost it. Lost the account. I was like, fuck. But there was this one song, and it always triggered me. Like it says, "Sé a donde me dirijo cuando tomo una cerveza." But that's the only line I remember from it. But that song would always like, fuck, like it's true. Like I know where I'm heading when fucking I have a fucking beer. You know, like.
I've been recently experiencing with more Spanish stuff from Spain because I've been watching some podcasts or some radio shows. And every time they have a new guest, I look up the person and they have badass music, bro.
They
like
do, man.
the rapping there, and not like from now. Like there's guys that have been in the game like since they were influenced by Anglo rap, and they started back in the 80s when everybody told them
Violadores del Verso, dude.
Yeah.
KCO, he's a beast, bro. I love that fool.
Yeah, and he has like a jazzy album. It's crazy, and this is stuff that I'm finding out now. They keep putting new music, but I'm like, these guys have like 30 years careers of rapping in a place that is so a conservative fucking Spain for some things, with the religion and everything. They hold you back. It's a weird combo.
Did you feel? Do you think like they're limited out there, or like as freedom of speech wise, like they can't really say what they want to say?
It's weird because there is, I don't know. I mean, they're very woke now, but they have so many crazy traditions too. But like
That's part of the culture. That's what it is.
That's what it is. But they have a lot of younger people like making waves and being more accepting and
kind of like same here. Like same now, here. With the social media, now everything's being more open.
Yep.
Now you gotta. Now, like treating people with more respect and genuine respect is becoming more of an initiative and more of a, what's the word? Like more of a priority. Like you can't say certain words they used to say back in the day with your friends and stuff like that. So I want to say like it's probably like that for all the world,
Yeah, no, it has been. But the weird thing I always try to compare to my stuff, from South America, I know like we can't say some words on TV, and then Spain, which is supposed to be what we were copying, they're fine. Like with some like cursing on TV and shit like that, they can say de puta madre and a lot of stuff that in Peru will be like, no, you don't say that on TV, or like you need to say it after midnight or bleep it. It's weird because in Spain they're like very free in that area, but then super conservative in other areas.
Other areas.
I wonder if it's the same as like Salvadorians and Hondurans. Like hijo de puta is just like.
Oh yeah,
it's just a simple like, "What's up, homie?"
That's like it's like a good morning,
It's like, "¿Qué onda, hijo de puta?" Like, "What's up, homie?" Like, it's a fucking trip.
I was like,
the first time I heard my homie's mom just go off on him, I was like, "What the?"
Like, why are you calling yourself that?
Straight the fuck up.
She's just dissing herself.
It's like my mom used to be, "Chinga tu madre."
You had to turn the whole hat around. He's like, shit.
No way. But yeah, my mom used to say, "Chinga tu madre," and I'd be like, "Mom, ¿qué chingados que chinga mi mamá?" She used to get pissed. And then when I was really, and this kid shit, when I used to want to annoy her, I would record it on the phone and I'll plug it into the speaker and just play "Mom." Like Stewie Little.
Mom. Like Stewie Griffin. Stewie Griffin from Family Guy. Mama.
What?
He's a nada.
Now I'm experiencing that shit myself with my son, man. He won't, sometimes when he's focused on something he's like, daddy, papa.
Oh shit!
He wants your attention, bro.
That's when you gotta return him with the receipt.
It's too late for that.
It's past the 90 days.
It's expired.
Shit.
So what's next with your music? You said it slowed down during COVID, and it's hard to get people together. Like, what would you think would be next for you? Is it something solo? You trying to form another band?
So from the band perspective, kind of slowed down because of the drive with the band. It was the live performances, basically, and that's what most of us enjoyed. So when the pandemic hit, what I did is like I've recorded songs, and I have more than 200 songs written. I have words and some melodies for about 200 songs, and very little is out there. So if I couldn't accomplish a song with a whole band, I started doing versions of those songs, sometimes with a backing track, sometimes with a beat that I did a little more simple. So I put out my first solo CD in 2020 that is called Musical Animal.
Be sure to tap in.
Music and Animal, yeah. And that was my first solo CD. So I went with my this idea that I had from when I was a kid to make CDs. I always want to take the advantage of the whole space of a CD, which was 80 minutes. So I'm like, I'm gonna put 80 minutes worth of music in this CD instead of doing like a 10-song demo. I was like my saving space kind of like poor background. I was like, so I did 20 songs and I got like 78.5 minutes recorded.
Hey, just saying, man.
I remember squeezing those little songs in there, just like burning them in there. It was like, oh, wait, 2 minutes. I got it.
Yeah,
gonna have to take away this 8-minute Joe Budden song off.
Or sometimes you put a soundbite or something. I remember some stupid shit from South Park or something. Yeah, but I did that in 2020, and then after that, I did a side project with one of the bandmates. I did Sensor Sound System, so we did another CD. So 2020, as far as releasing music, was active for me. It was no performance, but I did my solo CD I put out, and then I put out another 8-track CD with a friend. And then in 2021, I got a little ambitious, and I was like, I'm going to release 2 songs a month.
Okay.
And it's just between me collaborating with people, me creating the beats, other people creating the beats, and me rapping on top of it, like whatever. Like I was like, there's no limits to what I want to do. And for 2021, I did 18 songs. I didn't do 24, but I did 18 songs.
Yeah, man, 18.
Just releasing. So right now on my Spotify, I have about 40 songs.
Plug in your Spotify where people can find you.
It's just go El Kallpa.
El Kallpa.
El Kallpa. I'm everywhere as El Kallpa. The editor is gonna put it right
The
here.
editor's
right here. Or keep open the screen.
Just point at it. All you gotta do is point.
Can you open up a
You
page
gotta
for us?
point. It's not gonna come
Can you
out.
open up a page?
So the people that you
for us?
collaborated with, are they local people, or how did you find the people that you collaborated with?
It's being all over. So I started with this guy from my band, Glenn. He's an amazing local musician. He works with every band. He started tutoring me a little bit on GarageBand on how to add that stuff. So I started with him. I'll release a song where he plays guitars for me, or guitar and bass, and I'll do, he helped me with the melodies, and I put the drums later or whatever. Right. But then I opened it up with Instagram. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna reach out to whoever. So I've collaborated with people from Japan, Colombia. This girl from Cuba played the violin in one of my songs, and I'm like, at this point, like 2019, 2020, I had learned how to do all this stuff. So I'm actually coaching these people on how to, even if you don't have a studio, if you can get me an okay isolated track. I'm not looking for perfection either. So as long as I can kind of mix it, I coach a couple of people on how to do it and how to record themselves and send it to. So I'll just send them the basic idea of the song, and they'll give me back a 1 track or 2 tracks of their instrument or whatever. Right. And then by reaching out, there's one. So this is my friend
there's the musical animal that cover's really dope.
Yeah, thank you, man. That's a local artist. I gave him a little bit of the idea.
This one, right?
Yeah, yeah. Here's a Gage.
Which one's that?
He's not on it. He's not on it. Oh, he's on it. Oh yeah, he is actually. Point
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Yeah, that cover. So it's 2 albums, and then the rest are singles.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah.
You gotta put that on a shirt, bro.
Yeah, got merch.
Hit up Monterey Bay Creation.
Hard, yeah.
They'll put it on a shirt for you.
I haven't seen like some contemporary art shit like that in an album for a while, so that's dope.
Yeah, it's so strange because a lot of people like it, and when I first asked the guy to design it, I was like, man, I don't know if I like it that much, and then I've fallen in love with it ever since.
Right.
Because I wanted something more abstract and more like in your face, but he went a little more soft, like you were saying, contemporary art, and
the way how it's kind of split. You got the red, and the yellow, which is a really good combination, and then you got like kind of like the old school kind of black and white throwback looking picture. So that's really dope.
Is that like your spirit animal, or is that something he chose?
No, I told him it's like I wanted a thing, an animal. I said like I'm an animal or a kind of a creature made out of pieces of animals and pieces of instruments. That's what I gave
I
him.
see the butterfly wings.
But he has.
Yeah, that's hard,
I see the trumpet. You see the trumpet. You see everything.
He got the drummer. He got the drumming. He got the drum on him.
He got 2 drums on him.
He got the drum on him.
Yeah, I had the idea of me touching the wall, and then some people, have their things that they like about it. Like, oh, why is this animal a lot bigger than me? I was like, I don't know, because my alter ego, maybe it's bigger than me. I don't know, bro.
Hell yeah, talk your shit.
But yeah.
Does it matter? No, but that's a dope cover. Like, it really is.
Took the picture with my phone. My dad helped me to take the picture of me there. And then I kind of told the guy the concept. I had like a perfect 50-50 splits with my design. But then, he presented this, and I was like, dude, it works. It works.
Yeah.
This is the cool thing about collaborating,
Collaborating.
Making the whole decision by yourself. Yeah.
And the thing that he did with iPhone, like the album that I'm gonna come out with, the cover of it was done with an iPhone, thanks to Chewbox. So it's really cool that you could get things done so simple nowadays, like rather than having to get super expensive this, super expensive that, and like going through multiple people to edit it and all that. So it's really cool. You could really create out of the palm of your hand. So
Yeah.
It's definitely much more accessible. I think the problem with that, though, is that now because it's so accessible, everybody is doing it, and it becomes saturated. And then you got to deal with, like, everybody wants to be an artist now,
Yeah, everybody wants to have a podcast.
Everybody
wants to be a painter.
1,000,001.
The originals in the 831 Central Coast right here, man.
right here.
We're going to pull a... what do you call it? What's his name? The guy that says I did it first?
Oh,
A Soldier Boy?
A Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Soldier
Boy.
Yeah, Soldier Boy.
We did it first. First one to put artists on the platform.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
So you moved from Miami to Monterey, or was there a
No.
couple spots in between?
So in Miami in 2005, I joined the Coast Guard, the military.
shit.
And the way I joined it was super weird too. But my recruiter was like very out of it.
Right.
He like convinced me to join with very stupid things.
Isn't it weird that like you can't go to school, but you could join the military? Like, no, you can't get education, but if you want to risk your life, come on in.
And we got you.
We got you.
Yeah, see, that was the thing what I wasn't in agreement with, so I didn't want to join the army. So I went and talked to the Navy. And by this time, I wanted to become a scientist. I wanted to do biology or something like that. So I was like, the ocean at least is something related. I did my military service for two reasons. One, to like get I was already a resident, because if you're not a resident, you can't join the forces. But I was a resident, and I was like, I want to give back to this country that took me in, and also all the benefits that you get as a veteran. Because I knew I wanted to go to school, and they pay for a lot of that.
Yeah.
Shit. So it was, and then the third reason is to become a citizen, and then give the citizenship or the residency to my parents that were still legal. So there was a few reasons why I joined, but I'm not pro-war, so I was like, I don't want to do the army, and I went to the Coast Guard, to the Navy, and they weren't very interested, and a friend told me about the Coast Guard. This kid actually told me we can do like a buddy program where we go together and we go through boot camp together, so it's not so hard. And he didn't get accepted.
Oh, but you got it?
Why not?
But I got in. I think he had a medical condition with like he had broken his elbow skateboarding or something that they were like, we don't want broken things in the military.
We don't want broken
elbow.
things.
Broken elbow.
You know what? I'm gonna just say it.
The
I don't-
only thing broken is my heart.
You know what? I'm gonna just say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow. You ever seen that one video of the kid in the school, like little classroom? He's like, you know what? I'm gonna just say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow. Super nerdy kid. Yeah. But damn. Well, hey, you got it. How'd you feel after you got it? Like you accepted?
It was like a personal challenge that I always, because I've always been a rebel, outspoken, fuck the system. But at the same time, I always try to prove something to myself. I was like, even when I was in Peru, I was like, I think I can mentally do the military. And a lot of people tell me, no, you can't, because this is the way you are. You're a free spirit, long hair, whatever. And I was like, yeah, but I can play the part. I can do it.
Yeah.
So it kind of like a lot of things aligned for it to happen. There were some parts that were like super hard because I was dating somebody out of the country at that point, and just being in the military with limited, communication. That was kind of hard. But overall, I think it was a good experience, man. I didn't have any problems with like waking up early or exercising. They actually helped me be in shape. Now that I'm not ashamed.
Somebody signed up again.
Hey man, you did your time. You did your work. You deserve it. You know what I mean? You deserve it.
It was overall a good experience. I didn't love the structure of systems, a structure. Like I remember they told me when you join the military, you get 30 days of vacation a year, and I was like, perfect. I'm gonna work like like crazy person, and then take a month off. Then I come to find out that it all depends on if your superior approves your vacations and shit like that.
Oh, man. So you get no vacations if they say no?
No, I did, but like I remember I was dating this girl in Peru, and they were like, "Oh, Peru, we don't know if you can travel there because now that you're with the U.S. government." Like they were trying to say that it was a. So they put a lot of limitations. In the end, none of them apply because I did my research and I wasn't breaking the law, but they kind of tried to talk me out of it, but they wouldn't let me leave for a month. They'll be like, no, what if you all fucking, you never come back or something?
Yeah.
There's always stuff like that. But overall, a good experience. Like I lived 1 year in Oregon, couple of years in Texas, and 1 year in between schools. I went to school in Cape May, New Jersey, and then back for another school in Virginia, North Carolina.
Man. So you've been around.
I've been around.
What made you settle here?
Ever since I came from Peru to the United States, Florida, I knew it wasn't my place. There's some things that I love about it, but the weather,
it's brutal, huh? It's humid there.
Brutal,
You like Kodak Black?
I think I've heard of it, but no, I would be lying if I say.
Little spiky afro hair.
Yeah.
They call him the little gremlin.
No, that's all right.
He recently had sex at a hockey game in the balcony. You might have heard. Flash it.
Watch it.
But anyway, he's an artist from Florida. He's an artist from Florida.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm sorry. Keep going. Yeah.
No, it's all right. I don't know what the fuck what I was saying.
What made you settle in Monterey?
Oh, okay. Peru is on the west coast. Right. A lot of people don't know this. We're on the Pacific Ocean, west coast. I always like the idea of if I want to have a family or something, I want to lay back. If I already have a couple and I'm not partying every night, I don't need a big city with big clubs, nothing like that. And I had already done my partying in Miami. I did some partying in Peru. So I was looking for a small town on the West Coast in my brain to like try to surf, which I don't. So I'm like failing to myself because the ocean is right there, but it's cold also. So, but just a little town where I wanted to keep going to school for science, for biology. And I was looking to study the oceans here, sea otters and stuff like that. I wanted to do animal biology of the coast, so that was the main drive.
Big scene out here, especially especially in the aquarium. I used to work in the Cannery Row, that street, and I would just walk by some of the aquarium employees, and they like all had like really accents and all that, and they all look a little different. So I mean, kind of clicked like, damn, like people really travel like from all over the world here in Monterey just to study the marine biology and to study like. So I'm very, very, very proud to be where I'm from, So
yeah, and that was the main drive. I got an internship at the aquarium. I got to work with sea otters. It didn't pan out where I got a secure job, so I don't do science right now. But always following the science. I was here for the first 4 years. I was just doing science jobs here, fish inspector. I did a little bit of white shark research at the aquarium, but there were like positions that were like 3 months. There is money for 3 months, and then you need to apply for stuff. That's why I was already an older person to go into the science field because you're supposed to internship and volunteer a lot. And I didn't have nobody to maintain me, so I had to pay for rent and shit like that. So I couldn't devote myself as an intern or as a volunteer for.
Like I need my money.
Exactly. So I needed a job, and that didn't pan out. But I had a good relationship with the aquarium. I learned a lot of stuff there.
What'd you think when you first saw the aquarium? When you first stepped inside, what'd you think?
Oof, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah. I was in love like right away. I was like, I definitely want to work here, which I did. Not everything is what you think of either.
Yeah.
I remember I just need my foot in the door, and then once they know, what I'm doing, they have to hire me for sure. I was too sure of myself maybe, but it didn't pan out that way. But yeah, just the way they think about conservation and all of that, and how they promote that I support very much.
Do sea otters bite? They bite you?
Yeah. Well,
you wrestle one?
If they look nice and cute, but if
they'll fuck you
up,
they look like little dogs. You know what I mean?
They
Yeah,
can-
bro,
most-
little stocky
mostly
little dudes,
biting.
huh?
Yeah, a little bit of the research that I did, it was tagging otters. So you capture them and you put tag on their flippers.
Oh man.
Was that hard?
So you can track them.
Squirmy?
It is hard. I was never the capturer because this is years of experience that you need. But I help it with other stuff with transporting and with releasing, and yeah, man. They said one guy told me one of the scariest points in his life. He was diving to try to capture an otter, and the otter took his regulator out, took his mask out. I'm like, yeah.
Man.
So if they are into you, yeah, they're onto you. They could be pretty aggressive. Yeah, they look super cute from a distance, so don't approach.
I know there's a reason why there's like a double glass and
Yeah.
shit.
Pitbulls, man.
Yeah, they can mess you up.
Did you ever get to feed the fish in that big giant tank where they have like the sunfish?
Yeah. So besides working there in different jobs, I also volunteer as a diver. So I used to dive there and clean the tanks.
Oh,
And
really?
so-
See, I
so-
didn't even think about that. I didn't think you
Yeah.
had to clean like the glass.
Oh, yeah.
From the
You
inside,
never seen
yeah.
like when it happens like rarely, but if you're at the aquarium, you'll see divers go in there and actually clean them.
Fun fact: the aquarium. Sample fact: the aquarium is always on YouTube Live, and all the sections. And at my job, you know, we have a big screen, and like we'll
Oh,
just
so you guys are always playing it?
yeah, we'll play every now and then. We'll put the penguins up, and you know, on the dot every morning, 9 a.m. There's people scrubbing the penguin shit, cleaning up the
Oh, the
penguin shit.
penguins
Yeah,
are-
all the penguin shit on the rocks that you see, all that white stuff there. That's penguin shit,
Yeah.
and they're just all scrubbing it, hosing it down. I remember I seen one of them like kind of slip too, and like damn, like you really like. And I just think to myself like, damn, you went to college, you went to school, you traveled, you really wanted to get to aquarium so bad just to scrub some penguin shit. Meanwhile, those little fuckers are just walking around like.
Hey, but also there's Netflix too, though. You know, right?
yeah. There's Netflix, but you know, aquarium, Monterey Bay Aquarium, YouTube Live though.
Shout out to the Marbeck.
Hey, you trying to Monterey Bay Aquarium YouTube Live and chill?
And that aquarium's like world famous, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's like one of the biggest like research institutes for like conservation efforts, right?
It used to be like in early 2000s the biggest indoor aquarium in the world, and then Japan had to do a couple.
Japan takes everything, man.
And then I think the one in Atlanta also is pretty big. But no, they're known for all the research that they do too. Yeah, they're very well known. I didn't know much about the aquarium before I moved here. I learned a lot while working there. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
That's really cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. We got like 3 minutes left. We usually do like a whole like another like thing you could let people know where to find you at, like
Yeah.
social media wise, music wise. So, man, let the listeners know like where they could follow you at.
Yeah, everything. My music, I'm on Instagram as El Kallpa. I have Twitter, I have Facebook. Everything is El Kallpa, and that's ELKALLPA at El Kallpa on all social media. I have my YouTube channel, El Kallpa. I also do a small podcast or like interview kind of deal. Yeah, man. If you guys want to collab, anyone out there want to just reach out. Just like I reach out to these guys.
Yeah.
Real quick, why the name El Kallpa? Where did that come from?
Oh yeah, good question. El Kallpa, it's a mix between Spanish and Quechua. Quechua is the language of the Incas in Peru. So Kallpa means strength. It's not to be strong, but to have strength. And I remember in Miami, I had this reggae band, like my third or fourth band, my reggae band. When we play, a lot of people will be like, man, this is reggae, but it's not really, because you hit the drums real hard, and then you come with that barking, rapping. It's like
DMX?
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's reggae but with a punch, with a force. So I was like, man, we call the band Kallpa Rasta, and I was like, man, the one who puts the strength or the attitude in the band, it's me. So I'm El Kallpa. I'm the force. I'm the strength. Yeah.
Says I'm that.
I'm that.
I'm that boy.
Me llaman El Kallpa.
El Kallpa.
Well, thank you very much, man. We appreciate you coming
appreciate you
by,
sliding
chilling with
through.
us, getting to
Thank
know
you,
you and
guys.
getting to know your music, your story. You got a really dope story, very unique story for sure, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to end it, show the people your shoes, man. You gotta
Yeah,
show
you
them
gotta
the
show
shoes,
them.
man.
That. Look, man, the Jurassic pumps. What you know
Pumps.
about it?
Those are,
Reebok sent me another pair for free.
They got a splash of dinosaur fossil on them. You know what I mean? It's made out of a fossil. You know what I'm
They
saying?
got some of that new dinosaur they found recently.
yeah.
Did you ever get into like finding dinosaurs, like you know where they're fucking, where they like they dust that shit?
Excavating?
Archaeologists?
That's
No,
You didn't get to that.
I didn't do that. I've done other crazy shit like holding a shark and working with octopus, but no.
like studying, because it's
Yeah.
like Well, would you come on, dog? Don't do that to me.
No, man, but we really appreciate you coming, man. Great knowledge. It's great to hear your story coming from Peru, Miami, Oregon, Texas, New Hampshire, man.
You name it.
You name it, you've been there, man. Thank you, man. Thanks for reaching out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Catch
Appreciate
guys
you,
next time.
listeners. Yes,
Slide
sir.
Be
through.
sure to subscribe. Ding.
Ding, slide through, y'all.
Slide through
Slide through.
podcast.
Hey, Kat, can you tell the people where they could get their Slide Through podcast merch?
Absolutely. So y'all gonna go over to the Slide Through Podcast IG, click on that conglomerate by the sea.com link. Go on to the left side, that sandwich bar, click on that. Click on the Slide Through Podcast clothing. Then you're gonna scroll down to that image where you see the Slide Through Podcast crew neck. Click on that, and there you go. You see the sizes small through 2X. Thank y'all for the support.